Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well, and I wish you a very happy Ramadan to you and to your families. I hope that you are enjoying your family gathering time despite the confinement and the restriction on mobility. But I trust that you are making the best of this holy month and enjoying the festivities associated with it, though. Now, I'm here today with a video on business telephone calls. As you know, everybody has got a phone these days, to the extent that cell phones have become like the most ubiquitous form or the most ubiquitous means of communication all over the world. That's why perhaps we take it for granted that making a telephone call is not a difficult thing to do. We believe that it is something that doesn't deserve bothering or preparing. But in fact, this is not the case when it comes to business telephone calls. In business telephone calls, if you want to make a productive and a professional business telephone call, there are certain guidelines that you need to stick to and abide by. Otherwise, you will not achieve your business objectives. Okay. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about the guidelines for placing a business telephone call. There are certain very specific tips that you need to bear in mind before you place a business telephone call. After that, I have a list of tips here for answering business telephone calls professionally. Okay. And after that, we'll watch a video, and this video is by somebody else, by Anna of English Like a Native, in which she explains some phrasal verbs that we commonly use in business telephone calls. I couldn't find a better video than hers. She does the job perfectly, and that's why I decided to include her video here. And at the end, I'll finish with the conclusion. All right, now let's get started. Let me just zoom a little bit and move aside a little bit so that both of us can be visible, the content and myself. All right, okay. All right, so despite the heavy reliance on email, the telephone is still an extremely important piece of equipment in offices. With the addition of today's wireless technology, it doesn't matter whether you are in or outside of the office. You can always be reached by phone. As a business communicator, you can be more productive, efficient, and professional by following the suggestions that I have listed here. This is what I call traditional telephone etiquette, okay? Traditional telephone etiquette. Now, number one, plan a mini agenda. Have you ever been embarrassed when you had to make a second telephone call because you forgot an important item the first time? This is something that happens a lot, in fact. So before placing a call, jot down notes regarding all the topics you need to discuss. Following an agenda guarantees not only a complete call, but also a quick one. You will be also less likely to wander from the business at hand while rummaging through your mind trying to remember everything. So a mini agenda helps you to stick to the points you want to discuss while talking on the phone. The second point, use a three-point introduction. When placing a call, immediately name the person you are calling. That's A. B. Identify yourself and your affiliation. I'm sorry, here it is affiliation, not identification. And C. Give a brief explanation of your reason for calling. Let me give you an example. May I speak to Jeremy Johnson? This is Yusuf Al-Qaidi of Dell Corporation Ltd, and I am seeking information about a software program called, for example, X Internet Security. Now, in this introduction, I name the person that I want to talk to, Jeremy Johnson. I introduce myself and my affiliation, Yusuf Al-Qaidi, Dell Corporation, and I explain the reason why I'm calling, okay? Now, this kind of introduction enables the receiving individual to respond immediately without asking further questions. You save him and you save yourself time, okay? The third point, be brisk if you are rushed. If you are in a hurry, if you don't have much time, or if you don't have enough time, be brisk. For business calls, when your time is limited, avoid questions such as, how are you? In fact, this kind of question is an out of topic question because it doesn't serve you anything apart from wasting your time on something that is irrelevant. So instead, say, for example, Lauren, I knew you'd be the only one who could answer these two questions for me, okay, straight from the beginning without rumbling. Another efficient strategy is to set a contract with the caller. You can say, for example, look, Lauren, I have only 10 minutes, but I really wanted to get back to you. So here you set a contract and you state from the very beginning that you don't have much time and that you can be on phone just for 10 minutes. Next point, be cheerful and accurate. Let your voice show the same kind of animation that you radiate when you greet people in person, face to face. In your mind, try to envision the individual answering the telephone. A smile can certainly affect the tone of your voice. Therefore, even though the individual can't see you, smile at that person and be sure that your smile will reach him or her. Speak with a tone that is enthusiastic, respectful, and attentive. Moreover, be accurate about what you say, okay? Pay attention to what you say and be accurate. The next point is be professional and courteous. Remember that you are representing yourself and your company when you make a phone call, okay? Use professional vocabulary and courteous language. Say thank you and please during your conversations. Don't eat, drink, or chew gum while talking on the phone like some people do, because this can be heard on the other end. Okay, the other person will hear that you are chewing or eating or drinking. Articulate your words clearly so that the receiver can understand what you're saying, and avoid other work during the phone call so that you can focus entirely on the conversation. Okay? The next point, which is the last, bring the conversation to a close. As a caller, it is your responsibility to close the conversation, but sometimes we find it difficult to close the conversation, especially if the other person likes talking, if the other person likes rambling, if he or she is a talkative person, we find it difficult to bring the conversation to an end. Now here, you can use some suggestive language, okay? Suggestive closing language, like for example, I have certainly enjoyed talking with you, but I need to go. Um, Another example, I have learned what I needed to know, and now I can proceed with my work. One more example, thank you for your help. I must go now, but I may call you again in the future if I need further information. And one last example that you can use to suggest closing, should we talk again in a few weeks? So by saying suggestive closing language like this, you bring a sense of closure to the conversation and you make it easy to say goodbye, okay? All right. Now we move to recommendations for answering phone calls. Again, let me zoom in. Great. All right. With a little forethought, you can project a professional image and make your telephone a productive, efficient work tool. Developing good telephone manners also reflects well on you and on your organization. You will be most successful on the job if you practice the following etiquette guidelines here, okay? Number one, answer promptly and courteously. Try to answer the phone on the first or second ring if possible. Smile as you pick up the phone. Why answering on the first or the second? Because if you take long to answer, the person calling you may get upset or irritated. So you better pick up the phone on the first or the second ring, okay? Number two, identify yourself immediately. In answering your telephone or someone else's, provide your name, title or affiliation, and of course a greeting. For example, Yusuf Al-Qaidi, Dell Corporation Ltd. How may I help you? So here I provided my name, my affiliation, which is Dell Corporation Ltd. And how may I help you? Here I'm sounding positive and helpful by providing to help. Force yourself to speak clearly and slowly. Remember that the caller may be unfamiliar with what you are saying and fail to recognize slurred syllables. Now here, clarity is very important. Speak with a pace that is slower than usual, okay? Especially if you think that the other person calling may not understand or may not get your point or may not catch up with you, okay? Next one, be responsive and helpful. If you are in a support role, be sympathetic to callers' needs and show that you understand their situations. For example, instead of saying, I don't know, try to say something like this. Try to say, for example, that is a good question. Let me investigate. Another example, instead of saying, we can't do that, we can't do that, try saying something like this. That is a tough one. That is a difficult job. Let's see what we can do about it, okay? Avoid using no and not at the beginning of a sentence because using such kind of negative language may be understood as very abrasive and displeasing, and it may suggest total rejection right from the beginning, okay? Next point, be cautious when answering calls for others, when you are answering on behalf of somebody else. For example, your manager is absent or out of office and you answer on behalf of him. So in this case, you need to be cautious and to be careful, okay? Be courteous and helpful, but don't give out confidential information. It is better to say, she is away from her desk, or he is out of the office, than to report a colleague's exact whereabouts, okay? Don't mention where your manager has gone, okay? Don't mention exactly where the person is, okay? Because here you are revealing something that is confidential, okay? Also be tight-lipped, tight-lipped. And you know what we mean by tight-lipped. You need to watch out what you're saying. So be tight-lipped about sharing company information with strangers. Security experts insist that employees answering telephones must become guardians of company information, okay? The next point, take messages carefully, all right? When you take a message, take it carefully and make sure to deliver it accurately. Repeat the spelling of names and verify telephone numbers. If you don't understand a word, you can ask for the spelling of the word to make sure that you get the message correctly, okay? Write messages legibly in a way that can be read easily and record their time and date. Promise to give the messages to the intended recipient or to the intended person, and be careful not to guarantee a return call, okay? Don't promise a return call. Now, the last point, leave the line respectfully. If you must put a call on hold, let the caller know and give an estimate of how long you expect the call to be on hold. Give the caller the option of holding. You can say, for example, would you prefer to hold or would you like me to call you back? If the caller is on hold for a long time, check back every now and then so that the caller doesn't think that he or she has been forgotten or that the call has been disconnected. Okay? All right. So now we come to the video. Let me just remind you that this video is by Anna of Speak English Like a Native. And here she explains some of the vocabulary, some of the phrasal verbs that are commonly used in business telephone calls. She also performs and role plays some of the business telephone calls in a very, very clear way. Now let's watch the video and meet afterwards.
Hello everyone and welcome to English Like a Native with me, Anna English. In today's lesson, we're going to be learning all about... Hello. That's right, we're doing a lesson all about telephone English. Talking on the phone can be very stressful, and I'm going to let you into a little secret. I used to have a fear of answering the phone, and even now I get very nervous when I have to speak to someone on the telephone. And it's made even worse when English is not your first language. The reason that talking on the telephone is so stressful is because you're removing important communication elements such as body language and lip reading. All you have to rely on is your ear and your voice. But in many jobs, talking on the phone is a necessity and you require those skills. So let's talk about telephone business English. And if after this video you feel you need a more comprehensive guide, then I do have an ebook available on my website as well. And that is available via the link in the description box below. So firstly, let's look at answering the phone. You cannot simply, in a work environment, answer the phone by saying hello, because the person on the other end will think that perhaps they've dialed the wrong number. So there are a few different ways in which you might answer the phone in a work environment, but here are a few options. You could answer simply by saying the company name, Jitterbug Limited. Or you could answer by saying the company name and then your own name. Hello, Jitterbug Limited, Anna speaking. Or you could answer by saying the company name, your own name, and then how may I help you? Hello, Jitterbug Limited, Anna speaking, how may I help? If you're the person making the call, then always start off by saying hello, and then it's always good to introduce yourself. Now you can choose whether you want to just introduce your name, or you could, and it's probably better to introduce your name and where you are calling from. Whether you are a customer or if you're calling from another company, it's always good to let them know who they're dealing with in the very early stages. And always try to be clear and precise when giving this information, but don't be surprised if you're asked to repeat this information later in the call. So here are some examples. Hello, this is Anna. I'm just calling because... Hello, this is Anna speaking. I'm just calling because... Hello, this is Anna speaking, calling from the post office. I'm just calling because... Some people feel it is more professional to introduce yourself with your full name. However, this is a little old-fashioned, but it does depend on the industry in which you work. For example, if you work for a law firm, then that definitely needs a more formal approach. So in a law firm, you would use your full name. However, in a trendy, up-to-date design company, then it would be a little bit old-fashioned to be using your full name on the phone. And much better to go for the friendly approach of just saying, hello, my name's Anna. If I'm making the call and there's someone I specifically want to speak to, or there's a certain department I want to be put through to, then I'm going to first speak to the receptionist and ask them to connect me to the right person. Some of the phrases I might use are, hello, could I speak to Mr. X, please? Hello, is Mr. X in today? Oh, hello, can you put me through to Mr. X, please? Hello, can I have extension 123, please? Oh, if you've been given a special extension number to reach a certain person, then you'll either be asked to dial the extension number in or you'll be asked by the receptionist what extension you want, and then you just quote the extension number for them to put you through. Thank you. But if you don't know exactly who it is you need to speak to, you just know you need to speak to the marketing manager or the editor or somebody in the finance department, for example, then you'd simply say, "May I speak to someone in the finance department, please?" Can you put me through to the finance department, please? Hello, is it possible to speak to the finance manager, please? If the person you want to speak to is not available, then you will probably be given the option to leave a message. Now, the information that you will be expected to leave in a message is as follows. Your name, the company you're calling from, a brief description as to why you're calling, a call to action, so tell them that you would like them to call you back, or let them know that you'll be calling them this afternoon and they should expect your call, or ask them to drop you an email perhaps. And then finally, a contact telephone number or email address. This is really important. If they don't know how to contact you, then they won't be able to get back in touch with you. Hello, it's Anna here from English Like a Native. I just wanted to confirm what time you'd like your lesson tomorrow. If you could drop me an email to confirm what time is suitable for you, then that would be fantastic. My email address is englishlikeanative@email.email. All right, I will look forward to hearing from you. Bye. Whether you are making the call or receiving the call, if you have any trouble understanding what the other person is saying, then don't panic. You could say one of the following lines. "I'm sorry, could you repeat that please? Would you mind spelling that out for me? Would you mind speaking slowly for me please? I'm afraid this is a very bad line. Could you speak up?" Now I'm going to give you 8 of the most common telephone phrasal verbs. Number 1, hold on. If you're being asked to hold on, then it means wait for a moment. Don't do anything. Don't end the call. Don't go away from the phone. Just wait. Hold on. Number 2, hang on. Hang on is exactly the same as hold on. It's just slightly less formal. Hang on a second. Number 3, put through. To be put through or to put somebody through means that you are going to connect the call. Hang on a moment, I'll put you through. Number 4, get through. If you get through, it means you have been successfully connected. If you can't get through, it means you've tried to call, but you can't connect with anyone. Perhaps nobody is answering the phone, or perhaps the phone line is busy. I just can't get through. Number 5, hang up. If you hang up, then you end the call. So I could say, "Oh, he just hung up on me. I can't believe it." Or I might say, "Wait, don't hang up. I think he's just walked in the office now. I'll put you through." Number 6, call back. If you call someone back, it means that you are returning their call. So you might ask for a call back. "Hello, could you call me back in 5 minutes? I'm very busy right now." Number 7, pick up. To pick up means to answer the call. So if the phone is ringing, I might say to you, "Could you pick that up? Could you pick up the phone? Did you pick up the call?" And finally, number 8, get off. If you get off, then you get off the call, you get off the phone, you end the conversation. So I must get off the phone. I'm so sorry. I've got to get off now. Bye.
All right, thank you very much, Anna. That was a very, very nice video. Thank you for your collaboration. Your video made my job easy and my life easy. Thanks for that. Now this is like a takeaway thought at the end, okay? Something to remember. You can make productive telephone calls by planning for the call, identifying the purpose, being cheerful and accurate, being professional and courteous, and avoiding rambling and unnecessary talk. If you do this, rest assured that you can make a very professional and very productive business phone call. All right, so now I come to the end of this video. I thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions or remarks, you can just write them down the video as I post it on our Google Classroom, of course. Thank you again for watching and take good care.